Hi, my name is Lynn. This is my very first video and I hope you like it. So just like the title of this video, I'm gonna be talking about my journey at Five and Talk. Video will be divided into three parts. First, I will be talking about how I started my journey at Five and Talk. I will also be revealing my highest income in a month. Second, how it ended. Third, my advice to those who are still working at Five on Talk, to those who are planning to work at Five on Talk, and to those who are about to start working for Five on Talk. So let's get started. Okay, I'll begin again with my journey at Five on Talk. So it all began way back in 2019. It was actually in March or April. Yes, I was just looking for a sideline during that time because I was getting quite a lot of rest, even though I was a working student back then. I was getting a lot of rest, so I just wanted to be more productive. I wanted to do something else. And then I saw the advertisement of Five on Talk, so I took the opportunity. I tried it and I got it. So during that time, I was actually going to the center. Yes, I stayed there for 2 weeks. I did not sleep there. I was just working there, okay? That's how I started. At first, it was very, very challenging, just like the challenge you experienced when you were starting at Five on Talk to those who are already working for the company. So I was getting very few bookings. Actually, it took me 3 days before I got my first booking, and I was very happy when that happened. So, oh, I will be telling you my lowest income and my highest income. My lowest salary actually was, I think it was like 6,000. Yes, because just like what I told you, I was having a hard time getting a lot of bookings, especially that I started when students just finished their summer vacation. So there were very few students who were available during the daytime. And of course, students didn't know me yet, so I couldn't expect them to book my lessons. But eventually, as time passed by, I was able to gain a lot of loyal students. Actually, some of my students were with me already. I mean, were taking my lessons for years, like for 2 years. I was working for Five on Talk for 2.5 years. So I did not expect actually that my journey would end. I never thought of leaving Five on Talk. One of the reasons is, of course, my students. I got attached to them, of course, because it's like I was meeting them almost every day, almost every night for so long until the situation happened. So it was around August, first week of August, when I saw the announcement about the new policy in China, but we were assured that the company won't be affected because the demand for English in China is still the same. So, because of that, I did not worry. Another problem I had actually was my attendance. If you're working at Five on Talk, you already know how you would be affected by your absences. But to those who are not working yet for Five on Talk and are planning to start or about to start, to just give you an idea and to just inform you or to give you an awareness. So there are four warning levels for attendance. Of course, there are also warning levels given to the complaints you would be receiving from the students, but I am hoping and I know you won't be receiving them. So let's just focus on the warning levels you would have related to your attendance. So we are given four levels. First warning, second warning, final warning, and SA deliberation. Per level, you have 4 points. So how does this work? If you would be canceling your class, 2 hours within the starting time of the lesson, you will be deducted by 1 point. If you will be absent or if you will be canceling your class 2 hours and up before the lessons start, you will be deducted by zero point 0.5. If you will be late for less than 30 minutes since the time started, you won't be deducted any point. If you will be late for 30 seconds and up, you will be deducted 4 points. And if you will be tagged as leave early, you will be deducted by another zero point 0.4. Okay, so say for example, for today, you consumed 1.5 points. So you will only have 2.5 remaining points, and that will be for the whole month. Now the question is, what would happen if I consumed 8 points or 9 points for the whole month before the month of September ends? So what would happen is, so 4 points, first warning, second warning, and you are going to be on this warning level. So you're down to your second warning level, second warning, and you have already started consuming 1 point of the 4 points allocated for your final warning because you have consumed like 9 points for the month of September before it ended. Now, what are you going to do if you want to lower your warning level? So, what you have to do actually is to perfect your attendance for the next coming months. I don't know if that's possible. I haven't done that. It's not possible for me because not being late is given the fact that AC would crash down. It's not possible. So actually, during my last month, what I was doing just to avoid any attendance infraction, I was entering the lesson 5 minutes early, but I would still be conducting my lesson on time. I won't be conducting the lesson ahead of time, even if the student was there already. So that's what I did, just for me to avoid getting tagged as late. But still, even though I was already doing that, I would still be late sometimes because AC would crash down. Yes, so that's the problem. And actually, I just started living on my own. The good thing was I was working so hard during the past 3 months of my journey at 5 on I didn't know that my journey was about to end, but I was working so hard because I was thinking of living on my own and I knew my expenses would be high. So now I will be sharing with you my highest salary at 5 on Talk, and it was around 52,000 or 51,000. So that was in the month of August. Yes, during that time, there were really a lot of students. I was worried already, but my income was still good. And actually, if my account was not locked, probably I would be earning more than that. So that's basically how it was. So when I moved in here, I think it was on August 5th, I moved in. 2 weeks prior to that, I was already processing my internet installation, but unfortunately, PLDT wasn't able to make it because they were telling us that they couldn't locate this place. I had no choice but to move in since I already paid for the rent. So when I moved in, I had no stable internet connection. I was just using my PLDT prepaid Wi-Fi. Actually, during the first week, I think during the first almost 2 weeks, it was kind of stable, very stable. It was very fast. I had no problem. But after more than a week, the internet connection at night was not stable anymore. So I was getting a lot of problems. So because of that, I wasn't able to enter some of my classes on time. And when I was able to come back, my students left already. So it means I was tagged absent. Until I discovered I could use also my hotspot as my backup. So good thing here, data connection is very fast. But again, because of the internet issue, I was able to consume my 4 points. So my warning level escalated to SA deliberation. So I think that was in the last week of August. hmm So I still had bookings 13 days ahead because I had a lot of loyal students. So they were booking my lessons 2 weeks ahead. So I contacted the lesson support. I was telling them that I was requesting for a one-on-one coaching because that's how things were done before the new policy in China. But unfortunately, they told me that there was no coach available anymore and there will be no more one-on-one coaching. So what I had to do was to wait for 14 days and to finish the two modules required in order for my page to get unlocked. So that's what I did. I finished the two modules and I waited for 14 days. So here comes the 14th day of my page getting locked. What I did was I contacted lesson support in the afternoon because I was actually expecting my page to get unlocked in the morning, but it wasn't. So in the afternoon, I decided to contact the lesson support. I did not get any response. So I just waited until the 21st day. Good thing during that time I was already starting working for a new ESL company and I am still part of that ESL company right now. Now, what happened was I contacted them on my 21st day. What they told me was they are not yet done with the deliberation. I mean, it was not yet being processed. So I had to wait. That's what they told me. I would just wait. So by then, I already knew that I couldn't depend on 5 on Talk anymore, that I shouldn't have any expectation from them anymore. So I was fully prepared. That's one of the reasons why I started working. I mean, looking for another ESL companies because I'm now working for many companies. And then, so that's actually how I started. My journey ended. It was kind of sad because I wasn't even able to say goodbye to my students because somehow I was still expecting that my page would be unlocked during my last day because I didn't know. So I was still telling my students, see you next time. And there was no more next time. I am part of a group. We have a communication on Facebook. So I can still see the messages of some teachers who are still working at 5 on Talk. And I was reading their frustrations as well because they got low salary. They're getting low salary. I think their salary got deducted. They got demoted. I don't know how it happened because we were assured by 5 on Talk that only new teachers would be receiving low rate and the existing teachers won't be affected by it. So whatever your salary is right now, I mean, before that new policy, that would still be your salary. But eventually, they weren't able to do that. Another problem is that they are getting very low bookings. Some of them worked for 5 on Talk for 2 years already. I worked for 5 on Talk for 2.5 years. So I know that if you are working for the company for a year or beyond, for 6 months or beyond, you must have a lot of regular students already by then. So if that would be the case, most likely you would be earning like 20,000 and above if you're doing it full time. I think so. 25 maybe. It depends on your position. But anyway, some of them were saying on the chat that their salary for this month was like their salary when they were starting. Actually, when I was starting at 5 on Talk, as far as I can remember, my first salary was about 6,000. So basically, that's the same amount of money most teachers are now earning at 5 on Talk. Yes. So that's very, very sad. And then they're getting very low bookings. So let's go now to the last part of this video, which is my advice to teachers who are still working at 5 on Talk, to teachers who are, especially to those teachers who are down to their SA deliberation. My advice is not expect anything, set your expectation, be prepared. Start looking for a new ESL company that would offer you stability. It's not gonna be easy, but you can do this because I'm able to do it. You can do it as well. Why is it important that you start you prepare yourself for this situation? Here is what's happening. Imagine all of these Chinese ESL companies losing their teachers. So many teachers are now resigning from Chinese ESL companies because they are not stable anymore. So imagine how many teachers they are, like thousands of teachers looking for another ESL company. So these non-ESL Chinese companies will be bombarded by a lot of applicants. So because of that, they would increase their standard. Their standard would be high when it comes to hiring an ESL teacher. For most teachers, I mean, if not all, teachers at 5-1 Talk are already graduate from college, of course. So you already have your degree, so that's gonna be your advantage, of course. But you're gonna be competing with a lot of ESL teachers who have a lot of experience as well. So the competition right now will be very, very tight because of a lot of experienced ESL teachers looking for new ESL companies. So another would be ESL companies will have freeze hiring because they would get the number of applicants that they're needing very quick. Lastly, if you're going to be starting working for a new ESL companies, we are already aware of this to those who already worked for an ESL company. If you're starting working for an ESL company, you know that you cannot depend on your salary yet during your first month or first 2 months, especially if you have a lot of bills to pay. So you will need to have your adjustment period maximum of at least 3 months. That would be better. 3 months for you to start seeing that you can somehow depend on your income already, on the earnings you are getting from that new ESL company you're working for. 3 months. So imagine if you would just start looking for a new ESL companies 2 months from now. So 2 months from now, plus you are going to add your adjustment period. So that's gonna be 4 months, 5 months before you start having stable income. Will that be okay with you? How about your family? Especially during this pandemic and the expenses are very high. I think it's not practical for you to keep on waiting for 5-1 Talk to get through this. I'm hoping 5-1 Talk will be able to recover from this, but I think it's gonna be very, very hard for them to overcome this challenge that they are facing right now. So prepare yourself. It's practical for you to start looking for a new ESL company. But if you have other means of income or if you are not paying a lot of bills and you think you can wait for 5-1 Talk, that's okay and that's good. Good for you, and I congratulate you. I would like to compliment you for your loyalty. That's very rare. Okay. Anyway, to those who are planning to start working at 5-1 Talk or are about to start working for 5-1 Talk, just set your expectation. If you are working for another company and you are planning to leave your company just to work for 5-1 Talk, and you are going to fully depend on the earnings you would get from 5-1 Talk, I suggest no. My advice is no. Don't do that. That's too risky. because even the company isn't sure, I think, if they would survive this. So you cannot depend on someone or on anything that's not even stable. It's too risky, right? Mhm. Imagine there's a typhoon and it's been flooded everywhere. I do hope, I do pray it won't happen. But imagine it's been flooded everywhere and there is a stick and a tree next to each other. Would you hold on to the stick that could break anytime? Or would you hold on to the tree that's more stable? Yeah, so what I'm just saying is you cannot depend at 5-1 Talk right now. If you would really want to work for 5-1 Talk, what I suggest is you can start it right now and wait until it gets stable, but do not leave your current company if you are working full time. Just see and wait until you start seeing that you are earning enough from 5-1 Talk. And to all teachers who are having a hard time and who are worrying about the situation, especially to those teachers who are having challenges getting a new ESL company, I do feel how you feel, but I know you're gonna get through this. Just keep on praying and do not lose hope. Keep on improving. That's also what I'm doing. I'm hoping things to get better on your end. Actually, at 5-1 Talk, I became a mentor. I was also one of the elite teachers, but still, my journey ended. So good luck. Hoping things will get better on your end. Bye bye.